Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where I would like to do a little bit of expansion. We have some time right now before we need to do any more upgrades in our capital region. Of course, standing armies is going to be done in 10 years. That doesn't really have anything to do with upgrades. I mean, we'll be able to get that done very quickly. Our royal armories, we're not really working on that at the moment. Cranes are being exposed, so that'll be done in 13 years. So we've got some time there. Now, this is a new-ish ruler. He's 51. He's not exactly new. But we do need to get rid of those Holy Wars, or the Kingdom Invasion and the Kingdom Holy War. We need to use those up before he dies. And I feel like that's a fairly high priority, but I would like to chip away at this direct vassals above our vassal limit issue. I don't really feel like we can get it all done all in one go, and I don't really want to get it all done all in one go. But there's people like this guy, and it's under siege, so we can't really do that. We can revoke this guy's title. He has dual cons. I think I'm just going to do like one of these at the beginning of every episode or something. So we'll just look for... Actually, those are the only cons that we have imprisoned right now, these four. And they don't actually have any ability to be split up. Or rather, consolidated together. So right now, we can't really work on that without generating just tons of tyranny. And that's not really something I'm interested in doing. So we should instead think about doing our kingdom invasions, I think. Now, who do we want to go after on that front? I don't want to go after someone like Darfur, who we have no borders with. So that's definitely something to think about. I would like to take over all of this territory up here and in Iberia this life, ideally. This is not something that we need kingdom level claims to do. We could, in theory, go after Syria. What would that look like? That's interesting. That would be a pretty decent claim. We would have to occupy this county, and I think this county, was it? Yes, with a kingdom invasion, if we wanted to fully annex them. There's also this one here. What would it look like if we were to do a kingdom claim on this? Syria would be irrelevant. Okay, I think that this would actually be the better kingdom invasion because of these red areas that are not part of it. There's actually 6 counties that are not going to be part of that. Yeah, I think that that's probably going to be our best bet. I mean, we could go for something like Karakid. What would that look like, though? Kingdom invasion here would be... I mean, that's reasonably possible. There's 3 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9... That would actually probably technically be the better option. Technically. And then there's places like Outer Ajuran over here, which technically we do have borders with. Technically. I feel like this would not necessarily be a great kingdom invasion. I also don't think we're going to get a full map conquest by the end of the game, for the record. Unless we really go hard after it, but we're probably going to need our vassals and perhaps even the Pope to cooperate with that. That said, I would like to get Italy cleaned up soon too. Italy, Greece, like everything over here in this box. Except for like the bits of Africa, although I'd like to get that done too. I'd like to get like everything... Okay, I would like to get everything like from this box... Oh, up here, all the way... Well, technically, I'd like to get, like, all of this conquered. That would be nice to get cleaned up, right? But let's be realistic here for a bit. That's probably not going to happen immediately. I do feel like we can knock Karakid out of this war pretty quickly. They only have 23,000 troops. So if we were to do something like this, we're going to have to keep an eye on these red portions, of course. Let's go ahead and do that. And we are going to raise up our troops over here in Najran. So how many troops are we going to need for this? Like 40? 40,000? Yeah, something like that, plus a siege force. Allies are joining. They're up to 60k. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. It shouldn't be a problem, though. It should be completely and totally okay. So we're going to raise up a decent chunk of forces here. 50 days left on our men-at-arms. That's wonderful. We're very glad about that. Standing armies will be complete in 10 years. Right. Okay. Do we see their armies? Yes, they are up over here. Cool. So I think we're going to raise around 60k plus another 10k. So we're looking for around 70k here. Now we're going to have some pretty big attrition numbers with these army sizes. But this'll do. And we're going to split off around... This is actually more than we need to split off. We'll split off something like this, and then these guys, they're just going to walk over this way. Now, they're going to be taking attrition here, but the men-at-arms will be arriving immediately. There we go. And we're going to split off our bombards, and these guys, they're going to come over and join this army. These guys will group together, and they're going to head up. We're going to give them a siege commander, and we're hoping that we're not going to run them straight into the enemy army, which is currently up over here. So what we want to do is we want to get these guys right here grouped together. And then we want to get them moved up to fight these forces. We'll arrive there in 4 months. That's reasonably acceptable. Sounds good. We're going to want to make sure that we don't lose our siege weapons. That's very, very important. Our fortresses will be finishing up, and that is great. And yeah, these sieges are not going to be a problem. So we're just going to look for these red areas over here. We're not going to get this territory, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure ally territory does not get enforced. All occupied counties outside of it. Maybe? Maybe. For now, though, these guys are going to continue to move northward. We're going to be looking to not occupy territory that is within the war goal for the time being. That is fairly important to us. These guys are heading south and embarking. Now, we're embarking as well. And I'm wondering what exactly their plan is here. We're going to keep a close eye on this. If we arrive here before they embark, that would be amazing. I don't know that we do. No, we don't. We definitely don't. So we're going to actually turn around here. And I want to see what their plan is. Where are they going to disembark? Right here? Beautiful. Let's also disembark there. So they're coming in over here. We're actually... Oh, we're locked into that. That's rude. We're going to come up over this way, and hopefully we'll be able to catch some of this force. And yeah, we do absolutely catch that force. That's exactly what we wanted. There we go. That was almost disastrous, but it wasn't a disaster at all. It was, in fact, perfect. So that's going to be a stack wipe. We're going to move in here, and I think that we stack wipe this force as well. Pretty sure that this is going to be a stack wipe anyway. Indeed it is. Okay. So we know he has additional forces up here. We're going to re-embark and head up there. We are negative in cash right now. That's not necessarily great. And we'll just go ahead and ransom off a couple of these guys in hopes of being able to pull that back a little bit. We're positive in our cash, but these embarkation fees are very expensive. So we'll get there eventually. 15 more days on this siege. We're plus 35% right now, and that's fine. We're going to head on down over this way. 49%. Now, they're going to have ticking war score starting against us pretty soon. I actually want these guys, instead of heading to here necessarily, I want them to path to here. There we go. Cool. So we are, of course, going to be taking Mecca here and looking at the layout over this way. That's quite a lot of territory over here that we're going to need to occupy, as well as up over here. I think we're probably going to ignore the ally territory. I don't think you get allied territory in an invasion CB. I could be wrong about that. But my guess is that you don't get that territory. Now, we do want ticking war score to be against us here soon. We're currently negative on cash. That does surprise me a little bit. We did just take control of Mecca. That's always good. And I mean, we're going to bump up our crown authority in 14 years. I did want to check in on this guy. He is giving us our maximum amount. Okay. Just checking. Okay, we're back to positive, so that's good. We're going to try to chase these guys down. We're not going to catch them over here. But that's okay. We don't need to catch them. We just need to make sure that they're not doing anything dastardly. So we're going to move up and continue occupying Mecca. No problem here. And we're going to chase these guys down a bit. In fact, we're going to catch them down over here. Fortresses are continuing to be captured, and we finished up our siege of Mecca, so we're going to come in over this way and land here. Now, this is going to cost us further embarkation fees. I'm well aware of this. And we do want to allow them to keep control of Ma'an. That'll be fine. So we're going to fight this tiny little force. We do see these guys raising up over here. We're going to spin around and attack them immediately. How long on their gather? 30 days? Okay, we'll arrive there eventually, but not yet. There is a dangerous faction brewing. This is unsurprising. We want to deal with this guy, and this should be pretty doable. Oh yeah, this is super doable. Beautiful. So we'll get that handled. No problem whatsoever there. And we're going to head in here, attack this force as soon as we can. We'll be arriving there soon. This siege is already over. Beautiful. Really? These guys are being jerks. Okay. Well, this is fine. We have plenty of children for right now. For right now. Maybe not the case later on. There we go. Alliance formed, and that should disband that faction for now. Never mind. This guy took control before it disbanded. Wow. They're just piling into this faction. Okay. There we go. Faction disbanded. It will be back. We're 94% war score right now, by the way. How did that happen? 50 from battles. Yeah, that would be the case. That would definitely be the case. We do need a new marshal, and so we're not going to maybe get as much territory from this war as I had hoped. That said, there's that independence faction brewing, and that might actually be a good thing. So we'll get some territory over here, right? We're going to get all of this. We're going to get all of this. There will be a few gaps in the territory, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're actually technically at 97%, so that means that we can come down and take this county as well. We're going to be lacking this territory unless ticking war score is respected tremendously, which we could theoretically do. Okay, I do want to split these guys a bit. I want to select this force here. Yeah, these guys. There we go. And then... Come on, get out of here so that I can select them. There we go. So we're going to split these guys up, and we're going to have them move out, like, over here, and then, like, up over here. It's better. It's not great. We can put in a new chancellor, of course, and we'll put in this gentleman, and maybe we let this independence faction happen. We would like to have these guys rebel so that we can do consolidations. The question is, when are we going to be out of this war? I would also like to perpetuate this war to get more territory from it, but we'll go ahead and take war profits here. All things considered, I feel like getting out of this war relatively quickly isn't a bad idea. This may or may not end the war here. And of course, we've got this slow siege going on up here. Okay. Can we bounce this faction another time? Yes, we can. So we'll keep an eye on this, and we'll decide here in like 3 months what we want to do with it. Whether we want to fight the faction, which would be a good thing, or whether we want to not. Because we definitely need to deal with these guys. We recently inherited, so this isn't surprising that they're pretty rebellious. And we would love to get these guys imprisoned so we can consolidate their titles. It's just that their timing is awkward, as it tends to be with these. Okay, so there's that done. And that's actually the war won. Let's just enforce this, because I want to deal with this rebellion. So we'll disband our troops, and we're going to need to hand territory out, of course. So we'll grant this out to this guy. Wonderful. All of this territory will need to be granted out, and I'm definitely interested in fighting these rebels so that we can consolidate together kingdoms. That's something that is fairly necessary. And we're going to want to create titles out over here as well. I want to check. Yeah, we are living legend. So that's not a consideration. Cool. So we're at 16 of 12. There's still more to hand out. Perhaps over this way. Yes. Cool. And of course, that puts us at 31 direct vassals above. And there's still one title to be handed out. Here it is. Excellent. There we go. So we'll get all of those titles handed out. And now we need to do a little bit of realm structuring and coming out of debt before this rebellion happens. I do want to fight this rebellion. But before we do, we can grant 2 vassals out to rightful liege, which is something that we will absolutely do. So we're 30 direct vassals above. That's fine. Next, we're going to usurp the Kingdom of Italy. Requires 500 gold. Yeah, that would require gold. That is a thing. For some reason, I didn't think of it, but that is a thing. So let's check over this way. We need how much gold to make all of this happen? We're certainly going to need 500 gold for this. But I'm planning on putting all of that into this kingdom anyway. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to grant all of these vassals over to this guy and tell him, if you want the kingdom, you can make it yourself. We want all of these vassals to be under the control of this guy anyway. So this is fine. We're going to grant a ton of these out to this guy. It's not going to be enough, to be clear. But we'll do something like this. And once we're done with this, the question will, of course, become, who is going to be the leader of this rebellion? That is going to be quite important. And we've still got more vassals over here to grant. There we go. Okay, so I think that's all of them that were over here. Correct? I believe so. Cool. We are at 13. Yeah, that feels right. That feels correct. So we did get a bunch of territory over here. Not as much as I'd hoped, to be honest, but it's enough. Cool. So this faction. This guy is currently set up to be the leader. This guy right here. We're going to keep an eye on it. Now, he may remain the leader. And if so, that's kind of ideal. That would be amazing. So we're going to go ahead and put in a new steward here. It will be this gentleman. Excellent. So 2 months here. I mean, they're going to rebel. That's obvious. That's okay. That's exactly what we want right now. We want a rebellion. So this is going to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pre-raise. And we'll raise right out over here. We'll raise our men-at-arms, and we're going to raise levy troops. How many are we going to need? This guy has access to 24,000 troops. So perhaps somewhere around 30,000. He's still in charge. And ignore the fact that they're almost 200% of our men. That's irrelevant. That does not matter. He's still in charge. Can send the ultimatum at any time. We are pre-raising our troops. And this should, in theory, be just fine. Come on, troops. You can do it. Yeah, there's a lot of people going to join this. We will not be threatened. Perfect. So we're continuing to raise our troops. What we're really after here is our men-at-arms. Those are 3 months away. And we've got around 27,000 levy troops here right now. This is fine. We've got 30,000. 45 days on our men-at-arms. We're going to keep raising. Yeah, he's not interested in fighting this. I don't blame him. We're going to go to 45,000. And we're going to stop gathering these guys. We're going to go ahead and put in this guy as the leader for right now. We're going to wait on our men-at-arms. And we're going to go ahead and split off around 10,000 levy troops here. Actually, I feel like we're not, actually. I feel like we're going to split off like 5,000. I just want them to not get caught, right? So we're going to group these back together. Call this good. Our men-at-arms will be arriving in 10 days. And yeah, we know that they are sieging in a lot of locations. That's fine. We're not too upset about that. All we care about right now is getting ticking on our side. Okay, so we're going to split off our bombards. And then these guys and these guys will get grouped together. These are going to immediately head off over this way. These guys are going to group together, and they need a siege commander. They will get this guy. They're going to head in over here and get a ticking war score. Now, we're not looking to get outmaneuvered here. There is another faction behind this. This is probably populists. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about those populists for now. There's also these guys and some potential peasant rabble. This is unsurprising. We'll get those dealt with eventually. We'll probably call in allies to help with the populists, but we'll also just raise up our own forces for that. That's not a big deal. So yeah, they're winning sieges. This is unsurprising. And we'll just head on in. It is, however, time to put a cut in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to have some rebellions, and we will use that as an excuse to restructure the realm. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And I will see you all next time.